Welcome back to Learn with Israel biology series. In our previous episode, we talked about the classification of living organisms, the taxonomy hierarchy, and binomial nomenclature. So today we are diving into the first kingdom in the kingdom system, which is the Kingdom Monerans. Kingdom Monerans, we'll be talking about the definition of Kingdom Monerans, the characteristic of Kingdom Monerans, and we will explain the Kingdom Monerans with the aid of diagram. We are going to explain the Kingdom Monerans, and we are also going to talk about the harmful and non-harmful bacteria and the classification of bacteria based on shape. And after that, we are going to treat practice questions. So stay tuned and let's learn together. Let's start with Kingdom Monerans, the definition of Kingdom Monerans. So what's Kingdom Monerans? Kingdom Monerans include prokaryotic. It includes prokaryotic organisms which are mostly unicellular, microscopic, and simple. So Kingdom Monerans include prokaryotic organisms, and not just prokaryotic organisms. It includes all prokaryotic organisms. So I'll be giving examples on Monerans. So Kingdom Monerans are mostly unicellular, and when I say unicellular, I mean that they are single cell organisms. And they are microscopic and simple. They are the simplest type of kingdom in the kingdom system. So example of Monerans include blue-green algae. Some people will call it alga. Blue-green alga, also known as cyanobacteria. Blue-green alga, also known as cyanobacteria, and bacteria. So these are the two examples of Kingdom Monerans: blue-green alga and bacteria. So now that we know the definition of Kingdom Monerans, that it includes all prokaryotic organisms, and we also know the examples, which include blue-green alga and bacteria, before we move to the next one, which is the characteristic of Kingdom Monerans, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe now as we continue. So now we'll be talking about the characteristic of Monerans. And the first characteristic is their DNA. The DNA of Monera is not organized. And when I say it is not organized, it means their DNA, it is scattered in the cytoplasm, because they do not have nucleus, and that is why they are called prokaryotes. So that is why you can now say bacteria are prokaryotic organisms, because bacteria is an example of Monerans. Another example is that they have no mitochondria. In their cytoplasm. Another example, their cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. Their cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. It is not made of nucleus. Their cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. It is not made of cellulose. You know, a lot of cell wall are made of cellulose, but it is different in the case of Monerans. Their cell wall is made of peptidoglycan, And this peptidoglycan consists protein and fatty material from the word fatty acid. The fourth one is they are microscopic single cell organism. Moneran are microscopic single cell organism. And when I say microscopic, it means I can see it with the aid of microscope. They are microscopic single cell organism. And single cell also means they are unicellular organism. Moneran are not multicellular. Multicellular means they have two or more. They have multiple cells. They are multiple cells. But for Moneran, they are single cell organism, which also means they are unicellular. So the fifth one is some Monerans are motile, while some are not motile. Some Monerans are motile, while some are not motile. And what does motile mean? Motile means when organism can move independently with the use of metabolic energy. So some bacteria, some Monerans, they can move independently, while some cannot move independently. So now let's move to the next one, which is Monerans feed both autotrophically and heterotrophically. This means that some Moneran, they feed autotrophically, and while some feed heterotrophically. And some bacteria, they can be heterotrophic and autotrophic at the same time. So now let's move to the last characteristic we'll be talking about today. It is very important to note it, which is they reproduce asexually. Monerans reproduce asexually. I hope you are aware of type of production, the sexual production and the asexual reproduction. So Monera reproduce asexually by binary fission. This binary fission is a method of asexual reproduction. So Monerans reproduce by binary fission, bacteria reproduce asexually. Sexual involves two parents, while asexual reproduction involves only one parent. So make sure you note that. So far we've talked about the definition of Moneran, the examples. Here we mentioned bacteria and blue-green algae, and now we've also talked about the characteristics of Moneran. Make sure you note, especially this seventh one, that they produce asexually by binary fission. So now let's move to the diagram of Moneran, where I'm going to explain all the parts of it. So guys, this is the diagram of Moneran. So let's start from here. So this is the pili, and the singular is pilus. The singular is called pilus. It means one pili is called pilus, while once it is more than two, it is called pili. And you can see this something that look like L-like structure. It is called, you can see how it round the Moneran. It is called the pili. And what does pili do? What is the function of pili? Pili is an L-like structure that surrounds the Moneran. So the next one here is the ribosome. So what's ribosome? Right, you can see it here. This is the ribosome. The ribosome functions as the site for protein synthesis. So we can say ribosome is the site where protein are being synthesized. So the next one is the cell wall. Cell wall. This, you can see, that looks like a wall that runs it, is called the cell wall. What is the function of cell wall? Cell wall provides shape and structural support to the cell. And after that, the next one is the plasmid. Plasmid. What is the function of plasmid? Plasmid is like, it's a small circular DNA. You can see, it's a small circular DNA that is separated from the nucleoid. You can see, I'm still going to label the nucleoid. Just watch me do that. And if you haven't subscribed and you are watching up to this moment, make sure you subscribe now as we continue. And the next one is, this space here is called the cytoplasm. It's called the cytoplasm. And what is the function of cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the site where all cell activities perform their function, where all cell activities occur. So this place is where all cell activities occur in Monera. The next one we have is the flagellum. 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 Flagellum aids movement in Monera. So we can say Monera move with the aid of flagellum. Flagellum allow bacteria to move closer to where it can find nutrients. And flagellum allow bacteria to move away from harmful substances. So after flagellum, what next? The next one is capsule. It's called capsule. The capsule, it serves as, it protects the cell, from desiccation. And what does desiccation mean? Desiccation means drying out. So it protects the Monera from drying out. And the next one here is the nucleoid. The nucleoid. The nucleoid is not like nucleus. It's not like nucleus that is enclosed in a membrane. Nucleoid here is not enclosed in a membrane, and nucleoid here, it carries genetic information for cell production, for cell reproduction and cell function. And the last one here is the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. Plasma membrane. And what is the function of plasma membrane? It controls what enters and goes out of the cell. It controls what enters and goes out of the cell. So we can say a well-labeled diagram, of Moneran. Diagram of Monerans. So now let's move to the classification of bacteria by shape. So now we'll be talking about type of bacteria based on shape. Type of bacteria based on shape. I hope we all know what bacteria means. Bacteria is a prokaryotic organism, and it's an example of the Moneran. The first type of bacteria based on shape is cocci, and the singular is coccus. So one means coccus. Once it is more than one, it is called cocci. So the shape of cocci is spherical. So, and example include streptococcus and staphylococcus. So these are examples under cocci. So let's move to the next one, which is bacilli. And the singular form is bacillus. So the shape, it is rod. You can be asked that bacteria that are rod in shape is called bacillus. Bacillus is the appropriate answer. So example, the first example is lactobacillus. Bacillus, Lactobacillus, and Bacillus anthracis. Bacillus anthracis. So these are examples under the Bacillus, and we have two more to talk about, which I'll be explaining now. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe now, and make sure you share the description for quiz link. There's a quiz link in the description. Make sure you participate in the quiz. It is very essential. So now let's continue. The next one is pyrillum. And the singular form is pyrillia. The shape of spirillum is spiral or helical. So example, we have only one example, which is Spirillum volutans. So this is one of the examples under Spirillum. So the last one is called Vibrio. The shape of Vibrio is comma. It is comma in shape, and we have example. So we can say comma shape, and we have example. Example include Vibrio cholerae, and this Vibrio cholerae, it causes cholera. We are going to that now, where we are going to talk about the harmful bacteria and the harmless, which is also non-harmful bacteria. So now that's what we are talking about next. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you watch this video to the end. So guys, let's continue. Guys, let's discuss harmful bacteria and non-harmful bacteria. So harmful bacteria are bacteria that causes diseases to human, plants, and animal. They causes disease to human, plant, and animal. While non-harmful bacteria, they are also called beneficial bacteria. And what they do is that they benefit human, plants, and animal. So example of harmful bacteria. The first one is Vibrio cholerae. I hope you remember this organism. It causes Vibrio cholerae. It causes cholera. So let's move to the next one. We have Salmonella typhi. It's also an harmful bacteria. It causes typhoid. So the causative agent of typhoid is Salmonella typhi. The next one is Clostridium tetani, and this causes tetanus. So the causative agent of tetanus is Clostridium tetani. Make sure you know that these are the causative agents. They are the agents causing that disease. Make sure you are very attentive here. It is very important. You definitely see this question in your exam. You cannot avoid it. So the next one is Mycobacterium. This one is very popular and very common. I even see this in my exam. Mycobacterium tuberculosis. I was asked that what is the causative agent of tuberculosis? So the correct answer is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It causes tuberculosis. And we all know that tuberculosis is a disease caused by bacteria. And what's the name of that bacteria? Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So now we still have one more. We have the one for gonorrhea. we have the one for gonorrhea. So the fifth one is Neisseria gonorrhoeae. It causes gonorrhea. It causes gonorrhea. So the causative agent for gonorrhea is Neisseria gonorrhoeae. So now these are the harmful bacteria. We have the Vibrio cholerae, Salmonella typhi, Clostridium tetani, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and Neisseria gonorrhoeae. So now let's move to the non-harmful bacteria. As we have the harmful bacteria, we also have non-harmful bacteria that are beneficial to humankind. So the first one is Lactobacillus. I hope you will remember this when I'm talking about bacteria that are rod in shape. Bacillus. I hope you remember that. So Lactobacillus is used. It is used in yogurt production. It is not called yogurt. It is called yogurt. Yogurt. So it is used in yogurt production. The next one is Escherichia coli. Escherichia coli. So Escherichia coli is it aids digestion in human gut. It aids digestion in human gut. We also have the next one is Acetobacter. It is used in vinegar production. The next one is Streptomyces. Streptomyces is used in antibiotic production. Can say Streptomyces is used in the production of drugs. So the last one I'll be talking about on non-harmful bacteria is Rhizobium. And Rhizobium, it helps in nitrogen fixation. In legumes. So far we've talked about the definition of Moneran, the characteristics, and the diagram. We explained Moneran with the aid of diagram. And after that, we also talked about the harmful and non-harmful bacteria and the classification of bacteria based on shape. So now we are diving into practice questions. And there's a particular thing that I want to tell you. Once I am answering the question, make sure you answer it before I do. And once you answer it before I answer it, once I drop the correction, you'll be able to remember easily. Practice question. Question 1. Which of the following organism is found in Kingdom Monera? A. Amoeba, B. Paramecium, C. Bacterium, D. Euglena. So according to the example we listed blue-green algae and bacteria. So the correct answer here is bacterium. Bacterium is the singular form of bacteria, while the plural form of bacterium is bacteria. So don't be confused because it is bacterium that is written here. So bacterium is the appropriate answer. Question 2. What is the major difference between Monerans and other kingdoms? And I hope you know that we have 5 kingdoms. So A. Presence of nucleus. B. Absence of nucleus. C. Multicellularity. D. Ability to photosynthesize. So we have 5 kingdoms. We have Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Fungi, we have Kingdom Animalia, and Kingdom Protist. So what is the major difference? Let's start from option D, ability to photosynthesize. No, because not all Kingdom Monera can photosynthesize. And photosynthesize means to manufacture their own food by themselves in the presence of sunlight. Option C, multicellularity. It also means multicellular organism. And I explained during the lesson that Kingdom Monera is unicellular. So option C and D is out. Option B, absence of nucleus. Yes, I said earlier that with the aid of diagram that Moneran only have nucleoid, not nucleus. So absence of nucleus is the major difference. So guys, let's continue. Question 3. The process by which bacteria reproduce is called A, mitosis, B, budding, C, binary fission, D, meiosis. So I said earlier during the characteristic of Kingdom Monera that Moneran reproduce asexually by the means of binary fission. I hope you remember that bacteria reproduce by means of binary fission. Question 4. But before we continue, look at this number right here. If you are interested in tutorial, just shout this number right here on WhatsApp so you can join the tutorial. Or if you are interested in mentorship, just shout this number right here to join. And don't forget to practice the quiz. I dropped the link in my description. And make sure you like this video and share this video to your friends and classmates. They need to watch this video because it is very essential. These are the foundation of biology. Question 4. Which of these is not characteristic of Moneran? A, unicellular, B, asexual reproduction, C, presence of mitochondria, D, lack of nuclear membrane. So let's start from option A, unicellular. Yes, Moneran are unicellular. We have 7 characteristics which I list out the other time. Unicellular in organism, which also means one cell organism. Asexual reproduction, yes. They reproduce asexually with the use of binary fission. Option C, presence of mitochondria, no. Moneran and bacteria, they lack mitochondria. Option D, lack of nuclear membrane, yes. No, I said that nucleoid, their nucleoid is not enclosed in a membrane. It is not enclosed in a membrane unlike nucleus. So they lack nuclear membrane. The one that is not characteristic of Monera is presence of Moneran, is presence of mitochondria. So guys, let's continue. It will be the last question, and I won't be answering it. It is you watching this video. You are the one to answer this question, and the first person to get this question correctly will get an airtime giveaway. If you are the one that gets the correct answer, the first, I'm not talking about getting the correct answer. I'm talking about the first person to get this answer in the comment section will get an airtime giveaway. So if you want to be part, make sure you subscribe now. So once I drop the new video, you'll be the first person to comment. So guys, which of the following is an example of a harmful bacterium? A, rhizobium, B, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, C, lactobacillus, D, nitrosomonas. So look at it and drop the correct answer in the comments. And I'll be there waiting to get the first person to get the correct answer. The person is going to get airtime giveaway. So guys, we've come to the end of this video, and I know by now you should understand the characteristic of Monera. You should understand Monera with a well-labeled diagram, and by now you should be able to tackle questions under Kingdom Monerans. And in our next video, in our next class, we'll be treating Kingdom protists. Kingdom protists. This is what we'll be treating in our next class, Kingdom protists. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Make sure you like this video, share and subscribe. Make sure you revise the lesson and attempt the practice question. Keep learning and keep practicing. See you in the next one.